Bitcoin is getting ready to surprise everybody yet again, and I need you to be well aware so you can make sound decisions starting right now. Bitcoin has crashed all the way down to 25,000. There's a lot of chatter that's starting to come into the crypto space that the worst is over. However, the facts and the charts are saying the worst has yet to come. But the question is when? And that's what we're going to cover right here in today's video. We have a lot to get to, a lot of charts to get to, and I want to start with, we're going to cover the NBT HV changing to white, critical move. What does it mean? We're going to cover this critical level right here that if Bitcoin breaks, it's going to get a lot worse. We're also going to cover the most accurate chart since 2014. This chart has helped us predict the mega crash of 2018. We've been calling for the mega crash of 2022 and preparing for it right here on this channel for a few months. This chart is the key to what Bitcoin is going to do next, and we're going to cover it right here in today's video. We're also going to cover the 3-day death cross, which just literally happened, and there's some secrets in the charts when you dive deep as to what this next move is going to be, and it may be a little bit surprising. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to tell you some good news, because there are some facts in the charts with something that's very critical, that's very time sensitive to right now, that you're probably going to be surprised that I'm going to share with you. I wonder if you know what it is, but we're going to cover it in detail right here in today's video. If you're new here, my name is Steve. I started in the stock market 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, when I was just 16 years old. I made every mistake in the book, literally. And over the past 20 years, I figured out how to dominate this game, and I share that knowledge with you right here on this channel. I started covering crypto back in 2017, and this channel is really devoted to helping you use your crypto to get closer to your financial freedom. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want to start with this chart, and I want to say to the community, thank you for supporting me. Since January, our videos have been very bearish because the facts and the charts have been bearish. We've been calling for a mega crash for the past 6 or 8 weeks and preparing everybody for that. There's been a lot of hate from the herd, but you, the community, has been supporting me, and now that we're in the midst of the mega crash, people are now really paying attention. So thank you to the community. Now, pay attention to this chart. This chart has been fascinatingly accurate since 2014, and we're on a precise 4-year cycle here. Every 4 years, Bitcoin does exactly the same as it did in the other 4-year cycles. For example, back in January, when we crossed below here in the stochastic RSI. By the way, this chart is going to tell us what's happening next, how bad it's going to get, and when it's going to end. So pay attention, because these kind of charts will help you remain level-headed, because it's very emotional. During this mega crash, there's a lot of people that lost a lot of money. However, this is a buyer's market. This is not a seller's market. If you close your eyes and buy now, 3 years from now, you will look like a superhero. This is not financial advice, but let's dig deep into this chart, because this has all of the answers. Now, back in January, we dipped below here on the monthly stochastic RSI. The stochastic RSI is simply our momentum. So our momentum was at a landslide, flying down like a rocket ship coming to land back to Earth so fast. It's only happened 2 other times in the entire 12-year history of Bitcoin where our momentum was that low, right? So we put out major warning signs in January for dipping below this level. However, we said the past time that this happened in 2018, when we dipped below, we actually had a 48% rally where the market was like, hey, let's play with everybody's emotions. We just have the lowest momentum in the history of Bitcoin, and we had a 48% rally to get everybody very, very excited. And then the mega crash happened. The same thing happened 4 years earlier in 2014. We dipped below here, meaning our momentum was incredibly low. We had a 50% rally, and then followed by a devastating mega crash. Okay? So here we are in 2022, exactly 4 years later. Look, 2014, 4 years later. 2018 did the same thing. 4 years later. 2022, here we were. We had this dip below here. And in January, we got everybody together and we said, look, Bitcoin is going to have a false rally that gets everybody really excited. It should be around 40 to 50%, maybe even 30%, but it's going to be a rally that gets everybody really excited, but it's going to be a fake rally. So we prepared for it on this channel. It ended up being 47%, which is a little bit scary because it was 50% back in 2014, it was 48% in 2018, and it was 47% in 2022. Precisely accurate. So we had that rally. We got up to 48,000 after this 47% rally. And then we called for the mega crash because we look left, we look at the facts and the charts, and that's what it was. Everybody was really excited at 48K. They were really excited. Except our channel. We kept having bearish video after bearish video, and a lot of the herd kept commenting, Steve, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. But we just cover the facts and the charts. We don't try to predict the future or have some crystal ball. I look at the charts, I read them to you like a book based on all of my experience. That's what we do on this channel. Our channel really covers these big, huge moves. That's where you're either going to make all of your money or lose all of your money. That's probably why you just subscribed. You don't want to miss these big moves. So what happened was we got up to this 48K and we said, okay, now it's the mega crash. We had this big rally. Everybody is really excited. And we also used the 3-day death cross because we rallied right up to this green line, just exactly as we said would happen on our channel. We came from this red line back to this green line. Why? Because we look left. We did it the same thing in 2018. So we covered the 3-day death cross back in 2018 when nobody wanted to listen to us. And the same thing happened. People got really excited. They thought we were going back to the moon. Our channel kept calling for this 3-day death cross with a major crash down. So we all know how this played out. Now, here we are in 2022 at 48K. We said, okay, this is the mega crash. It's coming. So here we are. We crashed all the way down to 25,000. Now everybody is saying, hey, the worst is over. This is it. We saw the bottom. But the facts are not quite lining up that way. And that's what we want to dig into further in this video. And let's start with this chart here. We just changed to white on the NVT HV. Anytime we change to white in the past, we've fallen by a large amount. And we fall even further the longer we remain white. Right? You can look no further than right here. We were back up at about 61,000. We changed to white. We crashed down to 28. Okay? And when we have just a short-term white here, we crashed from up here, which was 44,000, down to 32,000. So if we remain white longer, we go down further. It's really that simple. And our momentum on the weekly is still heading down. But here's where the key is. And this was a telltale sign of when the next leg down will be, because it's going to be a rather large leg if we break this level here. Now, on our channel, a lot of people talk about 30,000. We kept talking about 29,000. 29,000 has always been that key level. Now, we haven't breached it yet, all right? Meaning a close on the weekly below. We've wicked below, great, but it was bought up. All right, there was some whales that came in that stepped in and bought these dips because they know in 3 years from now they will look like an absolute superhero, right? So this was bought up quickly, great, but it's still likely we're going to break this level. And it's highly likely when we break this level, it's going to be a very swift and powerful crash down. Okay, we have a lot of market structure at this level. And once it breaks, we just don't have a lot of market structure. These are just the facts. I know I'm supposed to come on here and pump you up that Bitcoin's going back to the moon, that all-time highs are in the next couple months, but it's just not the case. This is a market cycle, and I'm here to stand with you during this market cycle to help you remain level-headed. It's a roller coaster ride, but once you see the bigger picture, you're going to get pretty excited about this market cycle right here, because it's going to literally present the best buying opportunity of your whole life. These are the kind of opportunities that can really shift your momentum onto a new path, right? So this 30K level, we have not closed below, And again, just look, even you who doesn't have a ton of experience, maybe you have a few years of experience, you can see we've got a lot of market structure here. What does market structure mean? It means it's a major level that's holding us up, right? It's major support here. And you can see it. Once we break that, we do not have a lot of market structure to hold us up. Literally, it's going to be a free fall, okay? So that's the key level that we're watching, that 29K and a close below. We close our next candle in 6 days right now. But again, here we are above this level. So we're going to pay close attention to this level as we move forward. That will be the key going forward. Now let's get to our 3-day death cross, which literally just happened. Now, here's where it gets very interesting because we've only had 2 others in the history of Bitcoin. Now, I know the 3-day death cross is getting more coverage now, but we were literally the first people to cover it back in 2018. Nobody was talking about the 3-day death cross, and we got a lot of hate when we covered it in 2018. And then after it happened, people were like, holy crap, this Steve guy knows what he's talking about. Then they started to really pay attention. So here's where we are in 2018. This is really interesting. After we had this, like directly as we had this crash, Bitcoin's price was, just about 21% below this level. Okay, so as we had this cross where the green line crosses below the red line, we were about 21% below that line. Now we have to look at the only other 3-day death cross in the history to ask ourselves, where were we in price when we had this? Because literally, as we speak, we've just had this cross. Now let's take a measured move of where we were back then, roughly about the same. 20-something% below, meaning price action was 20-something% below this cross. Now, why is that important? Because we want to understand where we are now, because it looks like we're in no man's land. It looks like we're so far below that we're in deep trouble, that we're doing something really different than the last 2. Keep in mind, we've only had 2 other 3-day death crosses in the 12-year history of Bitcoin. So as we just had this cross, where are we in price? Oh, we're right on schedule. It's clockwork. It's like clockwork, okay? We started covering this death cross months ago, right? So price action, right on schedule. Now, your question is, well, what happens next? Well, if I'm being honest and no BS and straight to the point, it's going to get worse. It will get worse from here. Now, will we have some relief rallies where we could rally up in price and everybody gets excited again and then we go down further? Yes. Nothing goes straight up and nothing goes straight down. The big picture trend is very bearish. We've been covering it for many, many months. And here's where it's going to get interesting. And by the way, these major moves, you can't miss. If you're watching this channel for the first time and you're like, oh my God, I just found this channel. I wish I knew that a mega crash was coming. Hit that subscribe button right now because we cover these major moves. It's not to say, oh my God, we're going to be right every time and we have some crystal ball and we know the future. That's completely irrelevant. I read the charts to you like a book. No BS. I don't try to fluff it up. I don't try to tell you that we're going to keep going to the moon and creating all-time highs and just fill your mind with hope. No, you come to this channel because it's no BS. It's straight to the point, and we talk about the biggest moves in Bitcoin, and that's exactly what we do. That's why you hit the subscribe button. So what is this saying? Well, if we look at the past 2, right, we had this cross. Price action was roughly 20-something% below this cross, and then we fell even further, okay? Not at that moment, but over the next handful of weeks, we fell much further, okay? In 2014, same thing, right? We had this cross, we were 20-something% below in price, and people were like, hey, we're gonna go back to the moon. No, we weren't finished yet. We fell much further. Not that day, not the day after, but over the course of time, we fell much further over the coming weeks to months. So one can only say that the facts in the charts are pretty heavily pointed towards the worst has yet to come, that we have not bottomed yet. Now let's take a little bit of a deeper look, because what could happen, Bitcoin could very well rally up to this 40K level. We said that was our new ceiling. We said that was our new ceiling when we broke it back here on April 22nd. Why? Because for the entire calendar year, that was our support. And when you break support, that's our resistance. So literally, we cannot get excited unless Bitcoin closes above 40. If you wake up next week and we're up at 35, 36, and everybody's starting to be bullish again, don't listen to them. We literally cannot be excited at all unless Bitcoin closes above 40K with a body of a candle. Anything less is just noise. And just ignore all the noise and focus on these bigger picture moves. Now, let's look at some further evidence in the charts. We covered on this channel our bear flag, right? Our bear flag was fallen from this 69K all the way down to this 32K, and then we started in this pattern. And it was a beautiful chart pattern, right from the top to the bottom, back to the top to the bottom, back to the top to the bottom. And then we breached it with this candle on April 25th, which we covered right here on this channel. And we said, look, this is a bear flag. These break to the downside the high majority of the time. Does that mean 100% of the time they break to the downside? No. The high majority of the time, they break to the downside. This was our breakthrough candle. This was our confirmation candle. And we fell. Let's see how much we fell from there. We fell 36%. So you probably remember us covering this bear flag, and our target with the bear flag was this 18K. Okay, that's just taking a measured move. All right, that's not some prediction. That's just the facts and the charts are saying. If you use TA and you look at this and you measure the flagpole, this gives you a target to take profits as an investor, as a trader. Okay, this is just a simple chart pattern. The high majority of the time they play out to the downside. I did mention I have some good news. All right, I did mention I have something that will surprise you. I don't think you know what I'm about to say, but I do want to show you. In all honesty, it will surprise you a little bit, but it'll help you remain level-headed so you won't get too excited. But I do want to mention, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, I started in the stock market when I was 16. I literally made every mistake you can possibly make because of my ego. And over the past 20 years, I figured out how to dominate this game. I condensed 20 years down into the most simple, easy to follow courses that have changed so many lives. And our courses have actually minted a lot of millionaires. And you could be next. Our courses right now are on a big discount because the market has gotten destroyed. So go pick up the courses now at cryptocrewuniversity.com. If you really want to take this game seriously and you really want financial freedom, this is what's going to change your life. cryptocrewuniversity.com, you can get just the courses by signing up here, or you can get just our indicators. If you don't want to go through all of the learning, which by the way is very simple, very easy to understand, and you can reach me via email 365 days a year, or get the indicator bundle, which will give you indicators of when to buy and sell, or you can get the all-in-one, which is the indicators and the courses. This is the most popular one that everybody gets, and you can sign up here. All right, so let's get back to the good news. I mentioned towards the end of the video, I'm going to share with you some good news that may surprise you, and it's going to come here from the Gaussian channel. Now, it's not that we're changing back to green. Keep in mind, when we change from red to green, that's when this turmoil is over. We have yet to do that. We're going to cover it right away when we do have that. Now, if we look back in history, anytime we've changed from red to green, you can see that's when the bear market is over, and that's when we're going to have our next bull run. That's not the good news I'm going to share with you. The good news I'm going to share with you is this candle right here. All right, this candle right here is a very beautiful candle for potentially the short term. This is a dragonfly doji. Now, those of you who have been following our channel for a long time, you know that the gravestone doji is the one that's at the top of a rally that predicts the downfall, the end of a rally. This tries to predict the end of the downfall. This is a dragonfly, right? So it says, this candle basically says, hey, we've been going down in prices. We're about to reverse and go back up. That's basically what this candle says. And it's on the 5-day, which has some legs. It's powerful. It's not a perfect dragonfly because you want the body to be right at the top. We do have a little bit of wick. However, look at this long buying wick. What does that tell us? It means that price dropped all the way down to 25K and it got bought up by a lot of people. All right. That tells us our momentum is heading up. So it tells us that in the coming weeks, do not be surprised if Bitcoin has a rally. Don't get overly excited. Okay. Right now, price is at 29K or 28, whatever we are. But look, the reality is, yes, we could have a rally, but we have to close above 40K. We've got to close above 40K for it to mean anything. And I'm just going to be honest. It's not likely we close above 40K. It's likely we may have a relief rally. It's likely that people will get very excited. It's likely that everyone's going to call that the bottom is in. And it's likely Bitcoin will surprise everybody yet again with another mega crash leg down. That's the reality. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is just the facts. All right. So stay level headed and make non-emotional decisions. Look, we're smack dab in the middle of the golden zone. If you close your eyes and buy here, 3 years from now, you're going to look like a superhero. Don't try to make fast cash. Don't try to get a Lamborghini tomorrow. Don't try to throw the Hail Mary. Try to hit the home run. Success is a series of small wins. And a small win is buying some Bitcoin now and in 3 years looking back and saying, hey, this Steve guy, he knows what the hell he's talking about. I'll see you right back here on the next video. You can pick up our courses if you wish at cryptocrewuniversity.com. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. There's only one question left. When to sell your cryptocurrency? Click right here, right now to find the 3 simple steps.